fine now.
Yeah, there pretty much is, considering all the social distancing and needing to stay away from large crowds these days. But it does give me a lot of time to work on some fun projects, and these days I've been working on the Lego Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm sure a lot of people have been wanting to see it, so I wanted to show you my completed build. This is the completed Nintendo Entertainment System. It's really funny because when they first announced it, I was like, oh, it's a little gray box. However, there's so much more going on with it. There's so much detail in it, and there's so many cool little extra hidden features. So this is a little smaller than the actual Nintendo Entertainment System. In fact, I'm doing a side-by-side comparison of the original Nintendo console, the Lego build, the NES Classic, and the new Hallmark Christmas ornament that came out this year. This is a great build, but let's actually get into what makes it so unique. When I ordered it off Lego.com, they actually gave me this little Super Mushroom Surprise extra piece for the Super Mario build. So as you can see, it has the nice little level of interaction on top, so you can make Mario interact. And actually there's more going on with the Mario build, which I'll get to later. Let's take a look at the actual system. As you can see, the controller plugs in and really easy to take out. Not quite the weird little angular control configuration that makes up the NES, but I'll show a little something extra with the controller later. This is a pretty solid build. It has the AV cables on here, the AC adapter, the channel 3 and 4 toggle, the RF switch. I would think a lot of younger viewers, especially those who are non-gamers, are like, why do you need to change it to 3 to 4? What's an RF switch? Well, that's old TV for you. The only thing I wish they had put on this is like the little black pads that were on the bottom of the system. It just kind of doesn't make it raise the way pretty much all the other console iterations are supposed to. It does open up. Unlike the original Nintendo, it leans a little farther back, but again, considering what they've done with it is so cool. And it does have a Super Mario cartridge in there, which you can actually eject and put out. Look at that, it's just a little Mario cartridge. And if you look for hardcore gamers, I don't know if this is gonna be able to see it, but there is a little hint of green inside there, which represents the chip that the board for Super Mario Brothers. That's such a tiny detail, a lot of people wouldn't even notice what that is. And you can put it in there, maybe. This is surprisingly tricky with one hand, there you go. Put it down, it locks, close it up, and you're ready to play, but not really. You don't really see the mechanism that makes this up, but it's basically whenever you push it down like that, there's like a little thing that just kind of rolls forward and locks. So whenever you raise it up, the little mechanism is slow to roll back, so it actually holds it into place because it's slow in going back over there, which allows it to raise up. Here is the actual NES cartridge in comparison to the Lego cartridge. The Lego cartridge actually uses two stickers, the Mario Brothers logo picture, and then the Action Series Nintendo Seal of Quality is a whole separate sticker. Again, they look really close to each other. It doesn't say Super Mario Brothers on the top, which is unfortunate, but again, it's like teeny tiny details. Obviously, the back of the cartridge isn't a giant Lego board. Still, in comparison, they got every major aspect of this, even the little ridges that go down the side right here. So here is the original controller right next to the Lego controller. My original controller from my original NES has definitely seen some stuff in its day. The controller is pretty much one-to-one with the classic controller. The only thing I don't like about the Lego controller is there's not really any level of interaction, nothing to press or anything, and the buttons are significantly bigger. I think that's the only thing that looks off, but otherwise it's a really accurate representation of an NES controller, and it feels good in the hand. It feels like a regular NES controller, and they've got the cord. It's a short cord. I guess they took the cue off the NES Classic. So I'm going to show a little Easter egg about the Lego Nintendo Entertainment System. If you don't want to know what the secret is, skip ahead just a little bit, but it's definitely worth checking out. You can take off the side panel, and underneath there is a tiny recreation of the end part of World 1-2, complete with the warp zones for World 2 through 4. I mean, look at it, there's like two tiny blocks that represent Mario. You can almost hear that music going on in your head. Speaking of nostalgia, check out this TV, because it has an antenna. You can actually adjust the antenna as needed, which I think is super cool. Doesn't do anything if you bang on the side of the system though. There's so much detail, you know, channels, the brightness, the VHF, again, just stuff that doesn't really come with modern TVs anymore, but they definitely remember all of it. And they even call the TV low tech. There is a little stand that you can see here. The TV does come off. It's actually not attached to it, so just be careful if you pick up the TV. Make sure you grab the base as well, because it will just pop right off. The last sticker on the back, all the technical stuff for the TV, the RF switch, the AV adapters, where the power plug would go. There's no cords for this, so don't be looking for any connecting cords. You can't connect the NES to the television, but it does look like an accurate television from back in the day. Oh, forgot to show this. You can turn the TV knob and it actually clicks. Under here there is a little panel. If you remove the panel, there is another little switch for the Super Mario figure that comes with the Super Mario Brothers sets, and you can actually make him interact with the television. And I'll show you, I don't have the Mario figure so I can't show you that, but I'll show you what he can do with it though. So let's show the big feature for this TV. I'm doing this all handheld, so bear with me. As you can see over here, there is a crank, and you can crank this, and Mario will actually go through the world. Now what makes the Mario figure come into play is if you put that on top of the TV, it will actually play the music, and Mario here on the little stick will actually interact with everything. He'll make little jumping noises and the little bop noises and hitting bricks and things like that. So you'll get the full Mario experience, and then little Mario Lego figure will actually get coins and points and things like that. It's a really neat effect. I've seen it on other YouTube videos. I definitely recommend checking it out. One other thing, for the turning, don't try to turn it the other way. It will stall and fight you, and this whole thing basically in here, as you notice, if it scrolls, it's going on a giant conveyor belt. Like if you watch the edges, they kind of like distort just for a second. It's just one big conveyor belt, and it's a pretty complex process. You definitely don't want this thing to derail. The last thing I want to show off are these two manuals. They're huge. This whole set is about 2,646 pieces to build. It's pretty whopping into how much time it took. It took me about 3-4 days. I didn't exclusively devote all my time to it, but still. And if you go in and look around, that looks very much like, you know, one of those old posed 80s images for this, and it kind of tells a little bit about the history of the NES, which I think is great. This one shows off a couple of the games, like Donkey Kong, Legend of Zelda, Excitebike, Metroid. I'm hoping that maybe they'll do expansion packs that will have like Zelda with a little cartridge and a little conveyor belt piece that you can build out. Although to be honest, I really don't want to take that conveyor belt out of that TV. That thing was like, I just want this thing to work, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna pull it off until I actually started turning the crank. And that's it. That is the Lego Nintendo Entertainment System set. Again, really cool, a little pricey. Definitely a pleasant time passer in the current situation. If you were on the fence about whether or not you should get it, after all the time it took for me to go do the build and then seeing the final result, I definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun. If you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a Lego fan, I would definitely recommend it to any hardcore collector. Well, as always, thanks so much for checking in. I've got a couple new videos already in the works. I'll be working on that throughout the next few weeks. Until then, I'll catch you next time. Take care.